Okay, well, this is, winter cooking, sort of COVID shut-in cooking, actually. But, you make the best of it. And I love poached pears, and I love making them with herbs. And if you know about me, you know that I love herbs so much. And in the winter, unfortunately, you can't really get really great herbs. So, I go to the supermarket and this is what I can find. See these little packages of this stuff. And sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's not so good. So let's just take a look to see what we got. My idea was to do poached pears with red wine and rosemary and some vanilla. And this is a really beautiful flavor combination. And when it cooks down, it becomes incredibly rich and intense, and it really is a beautiful winter cooking thing. So here's what I got to deal with. Okay, this is not terrible, but this is what you get in a supermarket in the middle of January. It's kind of like there's a lot of sprigs that are sort of a little black. You have to sort of watch out for that. I didn't really notice that when I was looking in at the package, and I should have probably opened the package, but it looks okay. I mean, this is nothing like the, working with my herb garden and all the great stuff I can get in the summer, but you do the best. Look at this, it's all just cranking down. And here's another one. Let's see what this one looks like. This one's even worse. Oh God. Okay, I'm not even gonna use this one. Look at that. See all these black sprigs and everything? That's really disgusting. So you don't really want to use that because that's not going to give you good flavor. So you know what? This is just garbage. Let's get rid of this one and we'll concentrate on this one. And this one's not bad. So what I want to do here is I got some really pretty nice looking pears at the market. For poached pears, you want something that's going to be, firm so it doesn't turn into mush when you cook it, but also something that at least has a nice pear smell. In the winter, sometimes you don't know what you're getting, but these are red anjous, and these actually smell really good. It smells like a pear, which is, pretty good sign. And I'm just peeling them like that. And I like leaving the stems on because I think it looks pretty when you stand them up to serve it. And that's really all. You don't have to go really crazy doing this. And yeah, these smell really good. The Bartlett pears that I saw were really too soft, and generally speaking, you don't want to really use those for poaching because they really will disintegrate. And what else did I see? I saw some Bosque pears. Those are those brown ones. They were really hard, and they smelled like, they smell sort of like cardboard or something. So I chose these. And these are nice. These are good. Firm enough that they're going to cook up well, but, not so firm that they're like plaster or something. So these are pretty much ready. I mean, if you want, and I'm not going to bother, you can core them if you want. I suppose, it's easier to eat them that way. And they also cook a little faster because the poaching liquid gets into the center. But, I kind of like the solidness of the idea that they're just they're really firm and they're really solid and they're really in one piece. So I'm not going to bother to do that. But if you want to, just for easy eating, you take like apple core and just core in the middle and take that out and pull it out, and that's fine. Okay, so working with my, not so great, but, not fabulous at all, rosemary. But, it still smells really good. So, I'm going to do this really nice combination of flavors. So what we're going to do is we're just going to poach these ones and stick them in here. And let me get this. And then I'm going to take a whole bottle of red wine. This is a Malbec. I don't even know where this came from. I found it in my wine cellar. I don't have a wine cellar. I have a little wine shelf. Somebody might have brought it, and I think for my taste, it was maybe a little too heavy for me to drink. So anyway, so it's going into the pears, and it'll be good for that. I think as far as wine goes, what you want is any really good you know, medium-bodied red wine would be good as long as it's not too oaky. You don't want anything because the oak will concentrate in cooking and then it'll give you sort of a funky taste, which I really don't like. So, okay, 1 bottle, and now what you want to do is put in maybe enough water to cover the pears, right? So, let's see. I mean, they're gonna float to the top a little bit, but, you know, maybe a little more. Okay. Yeah. See, that's good. See, they'll float, but that's okay. Just a little bit like that. That's perfect, actually. So now what I want to do is put in my rosemary. I'm going to take some of these black, cruddy-looking pieces off. But you just throw it in like this. I mean, it takes so long for this to cook. Probably these pears will take about like 40 minutes. Maybe half hour, I'm not sure. So you can just put those in. You don't even have to chop it. You just sort of put it in like whole big sprigs like that. It looks really beautiful. And then I have a vanilla bean, which looks pretty crappy right now. It's kind of dry. This is really not so great. But ideally you'll want something a little juicier than this. But even with this, it'll be fine. So what you want to do is split it lengthwise. That. Yeah. Right? Look at this. It's a little dry. It's not bad, though. And open it up. Throw it in. You know, that's like such a cruddy little piece of vanilla. I'm actually going to augment with a bit of vanilla extract. Just a little bit. And that's good. I'm going to get the heat going. And then you want to add sugar. I'm thinking maybe for this, about a cup of sugar. You want a fair amount. I mean, that looks like about a cup, right? You think? Yeah, I think so. Okay. And I was thinking, for my purposes here, since it's a beautiful flavor combination, red wine, vanilla, and rosemary, but it can get, I'm thinking a little bit, I don't know, what's the word, like a little too like Renaissance-y tasting when it reduces. So to give it, I was thinking, you know, just to give it a little more brightness, I would just add a little of, I have a mandarin here, and I had a whole bag of them, and I've been using them for various things. And I was just thinking, you just like sort of cut it up and throw it in, peel and all. What the hell, right? Beautiful. Look at that. Looks really beautiful. So here's another piece. And that's it. Oh, and you know what I like? I think always when you're doing something sweet like this, a little salt is very good to bring up some flavors. Not a lot, just a little bit. So that is it. So what we need to do now is just bring this to a boil and then turn it down to a simmer and sort of partially cover it. Like, I'm thinking sort of like that, so it can steam simmer a little. And then that'll probably take about, I'm thinking about, you see, these were pretty hard. I'm thinking about 40 minutes, something like that. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what we've got after the pears are nice and tender, and we'll pull them out, and then I'll show you what I do with the wine that's left over. So I'll see you like in about a couple minutes, half hour actually, but I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so bye. That was so fun. All right, so these have been going for about a half hour, maybe 35 minutes, and let me just test them. They smell amazing. The wine is cooked down with the sugar and the. I can really smell the vanilla, and I can really smell the rosemary. It's amazing. So let me just poke one of these. I'm just using a little skewer thing. Just see what we got going here. Yeah, they're really, these are soft. These are ready. Yeah, they're good. Okay. So what I want to do now is lift them from the cooking wine, but you really want to be careful not to bruise them up because they're pretty soft. I mean, they're still sort of firm because they're of the type of pear it was, the Anjou, but they are cooked through, so you just want to be careful that you're not going to really dent them up. So I'm using this as like It's like a wooden spoon with a hole in it, which is nice because you pull it up from the stem and you let all the liquid go back into the pot. And just, oh, these are hot. Oh my God. They smell really good. I like leaving the stems on. I mean, first of all, they look pretty, and not only that, but you can pick them up by the stems. Ow, 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 ow. I'm just gonna put them, I'm just gonna leave them there for a minute. These are really hot. Okay. All right. Ow. I'll sit those up in a minute as soon as they cool off a little bit so I can really handle them. So, look how pretty they are. They got this nice red tint to them from all the wine and everything, right? Yeah, pretty. Very pretty. So now what I want to do is, yeah, look at that. Very beautiful. And very hot. You could also, if you like, you know, like take a sliver off the bottom when you're peeling them so they sit up straight. I didn't really quite bother to do that. So now what you want to do with this poaching liquid is just jack up your heat and reduce it, right? Because this is going to turn into, with all the sugar and everything, this is going to turn into a nice thick syrup. So when it's, see, look at it, just let it bubble like that. It's not going to burn, you know. It's just, you don't have to really, you know, watch it that you know, patiently. Just let it bubble for you. I mean, look at it every once in a while to make sure it's not going down too much. So I'm thinking this amount of wine and everything, oh my God, it smells so good. Should take about maybe 20 minutes. So let's come back to this in about 20 minutes and I'll show you what we have, okay? Okay, so look at this. This has been reducing. This is that same poaching liquid that's now reduced into like a syrupy substance. And it smells really beautiful. Now you can really smell the sugar. And you can smell how sweet and wonderful it is. And I can smell all the components. I can smell the rosemary, the vanilla. I can even smell the mandarin that I put in there. Look at this. It's very molten, right? And you know it's about getting there because when it starts giving off these really big bubbles on the surface like that, that means that the syrup is cooked down enough and it's getting to have some you know, thickness to it. So what I'm going to do now, oh, this smells really great. I'm going to turn this off. What I want to do now is strain it, okay? So, I mean, you don't want all this, you know, junk floating around when you coat your pears. So let's see if we can do this without making a big, scary mess. Okay, all right, here we go. So here's my, okay. Let's just do this way, left-handed. Okay. Look. Hey, get it right in there. Get all the stuff out. Yeah, perfect. So, see how thick it is? You can see from the inside of that pan. So this is what, okay, let me move this for you. So this is what we have now. Here's the syrup. And what I'm going to do with this now is I'm actually going to reduce it a little further. If I could get this thing going on here. Hold on a second. I'm going to reduce this a little further just to get it really thick. Okay. So I know this seems like there's a lot of steps to this, and there actually are, because you really want this to be right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this for another about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to cool it, or let it, actually I'm not going to put it in the refrigerator, but I'm going to let it come to sort of almost room temperature, because that'll thicken it up further, and then by then it'll be ready to use for our pears. So I'm gonna come back to you in about 5 minutes. You see how this is bubbling again? You see how this is going? This is what you're looking for. This kind, and you have to watch it actually now. See, because it could bubble over. So be careful. See this? It could just go over. But I'm just gonna turn it down. There. Perfect. Oh my God, look at, I just caught it. I almost made a big flying mess. Okay, so we're gonna come back in about 5 minutes, and I'll show you what we have, and we'll plate this for you. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's our beautiful cooked down poaching liquid that's turned into this gorgeous syrupy, like black, maroony, gorgeous smelling cooked down wine that's really like smells like everything we put in it. And it's just essence. Look at this. It's really lovely. See, so we're ready now. So I'll show you how we'll plate one of these. So let's take one of these. These are still a little bit warm, which is nice. Here's our nice little soft pear. We'll put that here. And then really all you need to do is take some of this beautiful liquor and just pour it over top like that. See how it naps the, that's probably enough. Maybe you could do a little bit more. All right, that's probably good. And I have here just a little bit of mascarpone that I mixed, just put a little sugar in. I thought that might be a nice thing to serve with it. You could serve, tastes good too. You can serve regatta or ice cream. Ice cream sort of melt. I retrieved one of the pieces of vanilla from the poaching liquid just for a little garni. And here's a little bit of a fresh rosemary sprig. So that's it. It's a really beautiful winter dessert, and it smells wonderful. And the poaching liquid is pure beauty. So I hope you would try to make this. It's really nice. I think you'll really like it. And it really tastes of rosemary. And I love herbs. Okay, bye.